What we really wanted to achieve through the culture check-in was to really take a pulse of where things were at now within the firm, to understand what's working for people, what's not working, what we could improve on, but also very much to help us with the future plans and the future direction of the firm. We are very much at what we call Legal Studio 2.0 creation point, and we very much want to know what the future looks like, and our people are a huge part of that. So we really wanted to involve them and think about what the future is going to look like with them in mind. The other reason I personally wanted to do it is that I think law firms for far too long haven't asked their people what they want. Maybe they haven't cared about how happy their people are and what they'd like to see less of and what they'd like to see more of. And we are very different. And I think even just doing the survey, regardless of the results almost, that doing the survey showed that we did want to hear from people. And of course, we are going to put into practice a lot of what we've heard as well. But it was actually just the activity of saying, we want to know what you think, that was important to me.
I think the great thing about it is what I'm going to call the Donald Rumsfeld's, the unknown unknowns. So stuff you don't know, you don't know. So there's been some really positive and excellent insights. All of the respondents said that Legal Studio was a place that they'd want to work. Everybody said that they felt comfortable and safe to raise questions and be an individual in the practice, which is great. But the really useful stuff is the what we could do better. And there were a couple of kind of highlights for that. What is the strategy, and can you share it with us for growth and next steps? Everyone has a lot of confidence in the future of the firm, but they'd like to know what that future looks like, and that was great. And also sort of feedback on areas we could improve, and the area effectively around what's the worst thing that happens around here. That was really useful to kind of look at and go, oh, these are things that are happening that maybe shouldn't be, areas we could look to improve on. Marketing, business development, website SEO. That was really good. But for me, the biggest bit was turning over those rocks that people will be happier to do on an anonymous basis. And when prompted to give that information, rather than just talking to people and say, how are you doing? Because the natural human thing is to say, oh, I'm fine, it's all great. Whereas at least here, we got to uncover that information.
So we've already started to put into practice some of the culture check-ins findings. One of the really interesting things that came out of the discussion, so when Pecan fed back to all of us and the team and we had a discussion afterwards, one of the really interesting suggestions that came from one of our new team members actually was they wanted a continuous improvement group. So they wanted some volunteers from the consultant body and the employed body to meet together and actually think of things that could improve the practice, and obviously others can feed into them as well, and they will come up with some ideas and then they will come and present them to the directors. And I think this is brilliant because I'm so pleased that they're taking on that initiative. So it isn't just us trying to come up with things that we think they want. This is actually them being really proactive. So that's one of my favorite things, if you like, that came out of it. Other things were, yes, we had ideas of things that might not be going particularly well and needing to be done differently. And because we are at that planning stage for the future, we are very much building all of that into the plans for the future. So it actually couldn't have come at a better time.
Brilliant. So it was great to kind of be able to work with the team and get, I think I'm going to call it signposting. Basically, this is how we're going to do it. This is what we're going to do. This is what it's going to look like. And this is what the feedback's going to be delivered. Not what the answers are going to be, but how we're going to do it. So from the start, knowing exactly what you were going to do and how it will be done was brilliant. But also being able to kind of prod into with them, both before, after, and during, the whys, the information, the what could be driving that, and get some expert analysis and insight on the result we're getting. And not just obviously you can read what that means, but what that means in terms of their experience across the sectors and different people they've worked with was really interesting. So yeah, the experience was fabulous and I'd recommend it to anybody.
Yes, I am already recommending Pecan services to other law firms because I think historically we have been an industry that didn't want to ask difficult questions and didn't want to ask people for their feedback. And yet it's more important than ever, with all the competition out there for great lawyers, and whether it's traditional law firms or different models like ours, there's huge competition out there for great talent. And I think those firms who are willing to ask the difficult questions and actually to obviously encourage the honest responses and truthful replies from people, and then be willing to take some action on it, whether it's to say, you know, no, we can't put that into place and here's why, or yes, we'd love to and it's down the line, or do you know what, that's brilliant, we're going to do it straight away. I just think law firms would benefit so much from the intelligence that they will get from that survey, and just the fact that they've asked people as well, the fact that they make people's opinions feel valued would go a really long way to helping them and their morale inside their firms, etc. So yes, I would highly recommend it for law firms.